Hi, what's up guys? So the last time we saw this, we just got the suspension figured out, got it on the ground, got it drivable, so super awesome, super glad that's out of the way. So I did some work on this off camera just to get it going. I obviously took the door off. I started to work on this. I'm gonna try to get away with reusing this panel. The problem about this is this locates the headlight and the fender, and this was all kind of mangled. So instead of drilling all that out and welding a new one in, my goal is to straighten this out. If it's too mangled and I can't get it in the right position, I'll replace it, but I'd like to reuse it if possible. I'm gonna drill out these tabs. I straightened this out a little bit, so this holds the fender and the headlight. So I kind of bent it back into shape because this has to be spot welded. I got a new tab here and a new bracket here. This has to be spot welded back in place. And then there's a spot weld underneath the radiator support portion as well. So hopefully in this video we'll realign the left side fender, because I think when it got hit, the hood shoved over and it bumped the left side fender out of place just a little bit. So my goal is to realign that fender, swap the hood, install the new door, and then see if I can line up this fender. This is gonna be a big question mark here, so I don't know how that's gonna go. If that all goes well, then I'll fit the bumper and it should be pretty much done, but I think it's gonna be more work than what I'm expecting, so we'll see how it goes. I got a buddy, he's gonna come over. I don't know if I'm gonna film this or not, but he's gonna help me swap the door and the hood. I've already got, the reason this took so long, I already got the hood and the door jammed. So we painted the inside. So, if you ever look at a car, one of the telltale signs to know if it's been painted is you feel the inside of the fender ledge. Even though it's covered by a plastic panel, you can kind of pull that away and you can feel if it's oversprayed. Well, we got the fender jammed right there. It's painted on the inside, and then so we'll install it, and then when the whole car gets painted, it will be a seamless transition. Same thing with the door and the hood. So I also got new hinges for the hood and the door. So all of this is looking really good. This is where the car took a big run of that impact, but without the door on here, you can really see that all of this is just good. So this is the new bracket for the bottom of the fender, and that bolted into place. One of the other things I did is I took all of the pads out of the calipers. I'm going to get those refinished. I think I'm going to do purple, but I haven't decided 100%, but I think it's going to be like a deep purple. Almost if you watch Formula 1, you see that purple that Lewis Hamilton always has, going for a deep dark purple like that. So thanks for watching. Let's get started. the next day. I ran that time lapse when my buddy was over, just as long as it would go. I haven't reviewed the footage, so I don't know how long it went, but this is kind of the finished product. So before I had him come over, I had just kind of started messing with the car off camera. I took the old door off, had all this off. I kind of just wanted to mess around off camera without worrying about filming, and I got a lot of these body gaps. Let me close this hood. So a lot of this has already been sorted out. Now underneath the fender there are those tabs that were on that upper rail. They haven't been welded in yet, so this is kind of just free floating at the moment. You see how I can move that? But it is pretty tight. I got this down at the bottom. You can see this door gap is pretty even all the way up. And more importantly, this line, this, all this lines up really well. Over on the other side, if you look over here, remember in the first video I had noticed that the fender was pushed out. So actually what had happened, and I'll show you in a second, on the hood hinge you can see that's a mounting point for the fender that was kicked this way and that had pushed out. So I had to actually adjust that. Well, I started to adjust that, but then I realized that that mount is part of the hood hinge. So if you look at one of these old hinges, you can see this was for the passenger side, but this right here is actually part of the hinge, and it actually has a adjustment screw right there. I tried to loosen that up, but it just stripped right out. So I just kind of had to bend that to make that perfect. So, but yeah, I'm super happy with the way these body lines came out. All this looks good. You know, that line down there was already good. So down through the fender, up on this side of the hood, all that lines up really good. I haven't fitted the headlights or the fender. The other big question mark was right here. So this was crushed in with the accident. This is the original front apron. I kind of shaped this back into place, and then it mounts, the fender mounts right here. And a lot of that dictates, you know, your gap on the hood and down back there, and all that seems to line up pretty good. What I'll end up doing, I'm going to sand this down and prime it so it doesn't look all haggard, but this is just kind of beating it with the body shaping hammer. So I'm actually going to leave this in here. This is going to stay, but we'll sand this down and prime it. And then down through there was the fender bracket. All that lined up really nice. So you know, I've got a functioning door now. The door check's not there, but you can see where they painted the inside. Mainly that was to get, you know, all of this the same color as the rest of the car. So once the car is painted, I'll swap over all the electronics and everything of the car, of the door. But yeah. And then obviously the trim, all that needs to be reattached. So at this point, what I want to do, I'll bring the hood back up and I'm going to drill out the spot welds. I'm going to take this fender back off and then take all those brackets off, and then see if we can get it mounted right here. All right, we'll put it back on a time lapse. One of the things I need to do is I need to replace this bar. Now this is where the front of the fender mounts, and then this is a mount for the headlight. And then this, I started to drill this out. You can see I've got a spot welding bit, drill bit that's going to take out these spot welds. So I've got a new tab here. Now this is the frame rail that got straightened out from Ricky. But I'm going to replace this tab and then replace this. Now this looked like it bolted in. However, I'm seeing two spot welds here. I had unbolted this the other day and I couldn't get it to come out. So I'm going to drill these two spot welds out and hopefully this comes out. And then I'm just going to bolt it into place and then hope that this is okay. And then I'm going to drill this out, and then that. And then Ricky's going to weld in some new ones for me. I've already got the brackets. I just need them to get welded in. So Yeah, and this is the spot weld tool that I have. So it's pretty cool. You just you hole punch in the front or in the center, and then you just drill out the bit. You're just gonna take, I think this is the center of the spot weld. Just punch a hole in the middle of it. I think there's one on this back side, which is gonna be problematic, so I'm gonna have to take the air box out, but we'll deal with that later. Put that bit in the center and there you go. Let's do this top one. Alright, there's that one. And there's definitely one on the back side, which sucks. Alrighty, so I got all these spot welds out, so that was actually kind of a pain in the butt. So I had 4 spot welds over here, and then there's 2 bolt holes, and then on this side we have 4 right here. So this is that tab that bolts in that I was talking about, and I have a new one. So they make these available separate. So this is going to go right here and get welded in, and then this is the new one. However that lines up. Should be something similar to that. And then this has my spot for my fender and headlight. So I'm gonna work on bolting this into place, and then we'll see how everything lines up, and we'll go from there. Alright, so these are where the brackets are. I've clamped this down. This will just be kind of loose until all that gets welded in. That's that tab that I drilled out. This has this bracket, which goes right here. So we just need to locate that and then weld that in. And this bolt is going to support the fender. And then this is that big bracket that I had to buy, that piece right there. So all I bought this for is this bracket. So I drilled that off. And then this is that bracket right here, but we're leaving this in place. And so that's going to go right there. We'll weld that in. And then that's going to support the fender as well. So the fender can be bolted in, and then it's going to, the front edge goes in right here. And then this is a bolt for the headlight. But this will hold the fender in place, you know, good enough for what we need for right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to mount back up the fender and see how it looks. So that's gonna be it for this video. A lot of time lapse, not a whole lot of technical detail. I got the fender lined up for the most part. It seems like the fender is sitting up a little high here, but I'm hoping once those brackets are installed, it will go down. I made the mistake, so it seemed like a lot of the body panels you could kind of push and pull on them if they weren't exactly right. Made the mistake of pushing too hard, and I don't know if you can see, but I've dented in the new fender right here, which sucks. But it is what it is. Hopefully they can put that in with a body filler or something. All these lines look good. I'm not going to do the side skirt. I mocked up the headlight, and the fitment really wasn't that great around in here. I'm going to ask Ricky what his suggestion is there. I don't know if it could be that this bracket that holds the front of the fender and the headlight just isn't welded in and not sitting down where it should. So I can pull on it and put it, you know, kind of where I need to be. But even if I put the tip of the fender level, it still seems to, the fender goes up higher than the hood. And both of these are factory parts. So the fitment right here in this area is not really that great. So I don't know how to correct that. So, but I'll ask a professional. But yeah, so it's coming along. I'm gonna get the calipers painted. I need to take those apart. I'll probably do that in the next video. I'll take the calipers apart, and I'm taking them to a guy that's just gonna powder coat them to me. I'll order new seals and put them all back together. So I'll do a video on rebuilding the brake calipers as well. But that's it. So hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.